Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where we review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby! Hello, and welcome back to this edition on my podcast as I'm reviewing the season finale, the final episode of Marvel's new TV show on Disney Plus, Marvel's Secret Invasion. This is episode 6 review, and of course, this is a spoiler. So if you have not seen this show, pause this, give me a thumbs up, go watch the whole season 1 of Marvel's Secret Invasion. Watch it all and then come back and listen to all my spoiler reviews for each and episode, just like episode 6. So, again, if you have not seen this show, this is a spoiler review. So, y'all been warned. Let's get into it. Episode 6 starts off with Fury calling Vara, letting her know that he is leaving Earth again and he's going to end the battle between him and Gravik. We see Nick Fury make his way into the compound area where they're all hiding in at and have all the actual humans locked up from the Skrulls, shape-shifting into them. But then we go to the next scene and it's the Skrull who has been impersonating Rhodey, convincing the president to start a war with Russia and the Skrulls, which is all the plan for Gravik so he can take over this planet and let the others just be all Skrulls and in human, just in all the humans basically. And he's arguing, he's doing stuff, he's trying to tell the president like this is why. He's giving this false evidence of just basically stuff that Gravik already planned and had already prepared to send these out to expose his own people to take over planet Earth. I mean, he's really got the president convinced, this Skrull, but luckily we get a call from Sonya saying that Nick Fury is heading over towards the president right now. And now the Skrull Gravik is freaking out. He's panicking. But then they're getting prepared as best as they could, and we see gunshots, knockouts, sneak attacks. Just, the basic spy ambush attack by one spy, which is just Nick Fury. And I loved it, and it was really fun to watch. But then it goes back to the scene where we see Nick Fury heading down to the compound. Now, again, they haven't shown Nick Fury yet, the way I'm trying to explain this. But as soon as we thought was Nick Fury, which we found out it was Gaia, because during that time, we get this very emotional talk between Nick Fury. And now this is before we realize that this is just Gaia impersonating Nick Fury. But before we thought that, they made a deal. He was like, look, he gives Gravik the DNA of all the Avengers, even Carol Danvers herself, Captain Marvel. And he takes it, but he has to leave planet Earth with all the Skrulls and get out. And it wasn't clear if Gravik agreed to that deal, but, he took it, and then they didn't speak about it. And then, of course, we get Gravik to take the DNA, and then he starts attacking Nick Fury, and then boom, that's when we realize that this is not Nick Fury, this is actually Gaia. And what sucked, I kind of wish, I wish this was kind of the other way around. I wish Nick Fury was actually physically there with Gravik, and I wish Gaia was ever at the hospital. But I also understand, and here's my reason why before I explain why I understand that. My reason why is I think this is the scene that we needed to unfold between Fury and Gravik, just showing how vulnerable they are and how both they're heartbroken. Because for Fury, it was the idea that he failed planet Earth because of the blimp. Once Thanos snapped, Fury was gone, half the population was gone. Thanos defeated the Avengers, and this set the whole world like not back to no Stone Age or nothing, but it really trembled the world. It really shows that the Avengers can't protect the Earth. And the one person who put the Avengers together and started this whole plan was Nick Fury. And plus, with the promise he made for the Skrulls, he was trying his best to protect Earth so much that he was willing to help the Skrulls find a new home, a new planet to live. And at that time and era, the way they showed in all these flashbacks, that's Fury did it with good intention. Like Earth can benefit off of this, and the Skrulls can benefit off of this. So it all made sense. I get that, and now this is why I do understand. I understand that Marvel needed to find a way to explain that this show is just to get you ready and kind of prepare to understand better when you watch the new Marvel Studios film, The Marvels, and that comes out, not the Marvels, but the Marvels, comes out this year, and I think in November. So I get that, right? That there's a bigger plot to it. But then I also wish that they didn't kill Gravik, because once we got this amazing like battle between Gaia and Gravik, just seeing all the Avengers or Marvel characters ability, some were kind of odd, like for example the guy with Dave Bautista's arm, basically, in a way. I know it was more her arm, but it just seems weird. But I also thought it was cool to see, like, Gravik have turned his leg into the Hulk's leg, and Gaia do Mantis's little power, and that was really cool. And I mean, she did some other things. She obviously did Captain Marvel's abilities. So did Gravik. But before that, I just thought I wish Fury was actually physically there, because this is like the two important moments. And I just think that, one, just the idea that they kill Gravik, it's just another reason why I wish sometimes Marvel didn't kill their villains so quickly. I wish like Gravik could have stayed, because like I like the idea the Skrulls could be in other Marvel films, maybe like in the Fantastic Four, or a Daredevil, just something. But I guess they could, because we don't know what else is going to go on. But because again, they always leave with so many more questions. But I just wish that. But I also get it why they need to do this, because they already have their big bad villains. They're going to appear in the MCU, and maybe they're just more powerful than Gravik. But, again, we got an impressive fight. We got a awesome, Avengers battle type thing. And once this nigga take us back to the scenes where the actual Nick Fury and their president of the United States or finally realize or showdown gun to gun, and then the president didn't believe that Rhodey was a Skrull, so Fury shot him, or maybe it was Sonya, I forget, but I just know the Skrull Rhodey got shot, and this took the president to a new level of war. He said he was ready. He wants everybody to stop the Skrulls. I mean, he had people go vigilante, and this is my one reason. Here's another reason why I understand why Marvel chose to kill Gravik like that and go the route they're going, is because now look, you got people just shooting innocent people, actually shooting innocent scrolls, and there's a lot of violence. And a lot of these people are just, your thugs or just people who want to do some vigilante. Well, there's your word, vigilante. This is something where they could they could do something with Daredevil. They could do something with the Punisher, and or the War Machine show on Disney Plus, because after Gaia defeats Gravik, they released everybody, and I am so. This is why sometimes I need to go watch some more older Marvel films, because I forgot a few things. So I was like, how long has he been a scroll? And I forget that there was a point where in a Captain America Civil War, he was paralyzed, or almost paralyzed from the waist to the legs, and in Avengers Endgame, he had like these robotic like leg stilts or whatever to help him move. But I kind of forgot that, so that's why I was being gullible. And I didn't think Rhodey was going to be a scroll. I didn't think they would do that, but obviously they did. And so this was like a pretty epic moment. So I understood that they had to get this show to end and get prepared for us to get excited for the next stuff, basically. So I get that. So I'm okay with that, and I'm also okay with the way the president did that, because now we get more stories. So I still have a little hope that they're not done with the scrolls, basically, even after the Marvels movie. So I could be wrong, because then we get another scene where Gaia has a talk with Sonya, and it looks like this could be a Creed. I know I said on the last episode that I had one of my theories where I think Sonya was working for the Creed, or she's a part of it, and this is it. And now the Creed learn how to, I guess, shapeshift into the humans, like the scrolls do. But I don't know. I guess they could. They're blue. I think, but it just left more questions. But I'm kind of understanding where they're going with it, but not fully. At the end of this episode, we get a heartwarming moment of Vira and Fury making up, and they head on off back to the ship on Saber, Saber, and that was the end of it. So there's a lot going on. So I'm just gonna jump into the topics and get right into it. So the first topic is, how long has Rhodey been a scroll? Like I said earlier, I remember in Captain America: Civil War, Rhodey got injured pretty badly, and since then till Endgame, he's been having like these robotic stealth legs to help him walk. So I think it's safe to say that Rhodey was captured after Avengers Endgame. But then I would say maybe that scroll was part of the funeral scene at Tony Stark's death, but I don't think they would do that, because I think to me, that would hurt the moment for the death of Tony Stark, the funeral. That's what I think. I think that would hurt that, because then at that time, I think that was a big deal for the death of Iron Man. And Iron Man to be the first character to die in the Avengers death penalty. But I mean, not the first really, but the one that people didn't want to see go away. So what I think is, I think that's probably what it is, but honestly, I don't want to think that. So I would say, he's been a Skrull since the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then that's what I would base it off. That's what I think. That's when the Skrull Rhodey appeared. Now the next topic is Agent Ross was captured, but how long has he been captured? So this is where it gets confusing. But here's a theory that I think. I think that Agent Ross was captured by Skrulls before Wakanda Forever. My theory is it happened during the blimp. And I think some way, somehow, that was the way Gravik got into the U.S. government, basically, was because of Agent Ross. So, I think, why I think that, because if you rewatch Wakanda Forever, you see Agent Ross kind of confused when Agent Val would question and ask him, or bug him about it. He'd get kind of confused, or the fact that while Val was being flirtatious and claiming that saying inappropriate sexual things to him, he was kind of off his guard. But I thought maybe he was just nervous. But now that I think about it, I think the Skrull didn't get all his information. I think he wasn't sure. The Skrull wasn't sure like how to react to Val to make sure she thinks she's talking to the real Agent Ross, because that makes more sense. He was more confused about Wakanda. He was confused about like the relationship between him and everybody in Wakanda, basically. And so maybe and now when I rewatched it, I was like, maybe he is acting a lot different. He's not acting like Agent Ross. Like, if you watch Black Panther and then Wakanda, you see Agent Ross acts a lot different from the Black Panther movie. So that's where I'm saying, that's where I think that's when Agent Ross was a Skrull. The Skrull Agent Ross basically was roaming around the MCU as Wakanda Forever. And another theory I would say, if that wasn't it, then he got captured after Wakanda Forever during that episode. But I'm not sure, because I wouldn't be confident on that one, because at the end, he got, I would see, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I'm just not sure that was it. I think, like, I remember Okoye saved Agent Ross, but I would just say that was pretty good. If that was the Skrull, that Skrull was pretty good. It didn't fool the Avenger, but it fooled the Wakandan, and that's pretty good. So this was a big risk for a Skrull to not get exposed. Like that Skrull could have got exposed that day. Like, Wakandan warriors are no easy battle. No, especially in combat. Like they lay the smackdown on that Skrull. So, again, I'm just going to say I think Agent Ross, the Skrull, appeared in Wakanda Forever. So that's what I think. Because how did if you think about it, if you slowly watch the scene when Gravik put the Avengers DNA and it shows all the names on the computer, if you slow it down, you'll see Black Panther's name. So that could have been it, because his DNA is all over that place. And just because he wasn't at the funeral doesn't mean he couldn't find it, couldn't get it. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of ways to get DNA from him in Wakanda. So that's what I think about Agent Ross, the Skrull. Now the next topic is is Gaia the most powerful MCU character? I would say no. Here's why. If she turns villain, right? Because I still think that she's gonna join the Thunderbolts. I think she's freaked out about what Sonya and the Creed have done, which is probably going to be the whole plot for the Marvels. I don't know why I keep wanting to say the Marvels. It's an old group, band. Google it. But I just think the idea with Nick Fury's like, yeah, it told Vira that yeah, we're gonna try to do a peace with the Creed. You know, they're gonna find a happy medium. But I think this is a whole plot twist, and Sonya and the Creed are gonna do something crazy, big explosion. But they're saving that for the movie, obviously. But I think, but back to the topic, is Gaia the most powerful MCU character right now throughout the films and in the movies or the TV show? Sorry, I would say no again, because I think that just because she has all those abilities, if she does one-on-one battle, yeah, but if you get the whole Avengers, then you can take her down. Now, I've been saying that she's gonna join like the Young Avengers, joining the Thunderbolts, which again she can still be the villain in those films or shows and still join that group. She could still kind of be defeated and be like, okay, you guys, and find a way to join the group of the Thunderbolts or the Young Avengers. Like, there's a way to do both and defeat, you know. So that's what I still think. I still think that. And so you'll see that's why I don't think she's the most powerful MCU, because, again, Thunderbolts, a group. Young Avengers, a group. So it's not gonna. They're just probably gonna have to figure out you can't just fight her one-on-one. You gotta gang up on her, and that's pretty simple. And you don't have to beat a person to death for that. That they can change their ways and want to join that group. So that's why I think that Guy is not the strongest MCU character. And I'm just talking about throughout the films and TV and comic books. That's a whole different story. I get that. So, with that being said, I think that what they're going to do is she's going to learn how to use his ability, but she's also going to learn who can she really trust and who she should be fighting for and what she should be fighting for. Now, I have another crazy theory I want to share with Gaia. So, hear me out. So, let's talk about Rogue from the X-Men. So, in the comic books and in the cartoon, especially the 90s one, it's very clear that she gets her power, I should say, from the idea of her being a mutant, is whatever she touched, she takes their energy, their ability, their strength, power, whatever, right? And so obviously she does that to Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. And I get that, right? But what if in the MCU, I'm talking about live action, TV shows and movies, that Rogue, instead of going for Carol Danvers, she actually gets Gaia and takes Captain Marvel's power like that and gets it, because that would be a huge twist, and I think that would make more sense for Rogue to get, that just the same power as Captain Marvel, instead of just taking for one, take it from the one who has all the abilities, because Rogue has the power. Maybe that there's too much that she couldn't absorb all the Avengers' ability, because it's been written in comic books that Rogue didn't technically get everything, all her powers for Carol Danvers, because it was just too much for Rogue to absorb. They can do the exact same thing with Gaia and Rogue. And that would set the MC up in a way where the mutants can come in with a bigger bang and a different view of it. It's not the same old story being told to us. And this will help lead to like Wanda, Magneto, if they go that route. So I'm just saying, in a theory, if they decide to let Rogue put her hands on Gaia and absorb that, that'd be cooler, because then you can see Rogue battle Captain Marvel in like just an epic battle, like, Godzilla versus King Kong type of setup. Like, it would just be an epic battle, and it would show that the X-Men and the Avengers are equally on the same level as far as strength, combat, and abilities. So, because this the one thing is, I think the most important thing is, when they finally introduce the X-Men into the MCU, they're the ones, they're gonna have to be the equal level of the Avengers as far as grouping and doing battles and stuff. So if they ever get Avengers versus X-Men, even for one scene, like one battle scene, this is the way to do it, is by giving Rogue the same story, but instead of Captain Marvel, just have Gaia be the one. That's what I think they would do. But let me know what you think about that. So, and then let's talk about the ending. Now, the ending to me wasn't that great. I think it was a letdown. I think it kind of disappointed, because I think this, just because like Nick Fury's always been portrayed of him being connected to the Avengers, we should have got, I wish they just did something where it let the audience know that, the Avengers are going to be making a comeback at some point. But we didn't. We got really nothing, just something that's going to be only used for one movie. And I think we got to remember that we're watching all this stuff to get to the next Avengers movie, and that was my only letdown about it. But with that being said, I'm giving this show a 1 out of 10. I'm giving it 6 because it just felt like a letdown. And I just think that because Nick Fury has since started the Avengers, I wish they had an ending for the season of Nick Fury just talking about the next Avengers, so we can get hyped up for the next Avengers movie. That's what I was hoping. But other than that, I think this as a whole, as this whole season 1, I think once you rewatch it in chronicle order, you're going to appreciate this show so much after you watch the Marvels movie coming out in November. And you'll definitely appreciate it and enjoy it more as you binge watch it when you're watching through all the Marvel stuff. So that's what I think. It's a growing show. It's a show that just grows on you and you appreciate more in life. That's what I think. So that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you and peace out.